When we're doing what we're doing, sounds like, when we're doing billing, we're pulling in all this information about consumption of what products and categories of products are being consumed in what quantities, and what are they being sold with, and what are people paying for them, and what are people charging for them. That starts to tell us the dynamic of how the economics of this industry work, right? And so when somebody starts coming saying, hey, what is my stack? What should my stack be? We're not going to come out and say, oh, you should have this product from this company and this product from that. No, but we categorize everything, and we can come back and say, you need a product in password management, in documentation, an RMM, a PSA, and that's what you need to run your business on.
So based off just what you said right there, my question for you is, do you feel that what you're doing today is one of the ballsiest things you've done in regards to creating this, right? This offering, trying to create this, and like going, before MSP, we would talk about MSP and you had a clear vision, what you're doing. We know we're easy to solve it, but, then the password manager thing, obviously you were a little bit ahead of the curve there, quite a bit, right? The things you're doing in the cloud base, but man, it fit a great, it fit a need. And then you get to move. So, I'm just curious, do you think it's one of the ballsiest things you've done when it comes to being a business?
I would say, absolutely. It's totally the most ambitious, right? Like if we look at Passportal, it was not a purpose-driven company, right? And by purpose-driven, there was a purpose and a fit thing for it, but it was not like, what change do I want to have on the world with this, right? It was not, I never want somebody to lose their job because of, and it was not that purpose. It was, shit, people need to manage passwords. I'm going to build something that does that, and they can pay for that, right? Mm-hmm. And it was never to seek to solve, some fundamental challenge that the world faces. This one was, and still is, right? Again, we did not set out to, hey, you have to reconcile billing so you can send invoices every month and not get client complaints and make sure you're getting paid for everything. It was, when I say I sifted through the Reddit and stuff, it was the amount of questions being asked, right? It was the questions of what do I need in my stack? Mm-hmm. What are the best solutions in my stack? And hearing things like why certain solutions weren't the right solutions, and hearing things of what should I charge? How should I bundle? How should I go to market? How fast are you growing? What's your profit? What's my business worth? All of these questions that can inform them to actually grow their business successfully and have a difference, right? And when I looked at all those questions that were flowing, and you read, the stuff from service leadership that comes out and says that 50% of MSPs don't profit, right? You got 25% that barely break even and 25% that lose money every year. That's a shit business, right? And back to the thing that everybody deserves an opportunity, I firmly believe in our mission statement is to give every single company an opportunity to succeed in the IT channel, right? That's what we want to be able to do, is give every single company that chance. And the only way that we can do that, in our opinion, is to be able to give people answers to the questions that they have that are actually true. Mm-hmm. Is not being given by somebody behind some, concealed name and screen name and avatar on an anonymous website that could be, there's brilliant 19-year-olds working in basements and garages, and that's why we've got the most valuable companies in the world today. But as a company that I am right now, do I want to take advice from somebody at that age, new in this business, and not be able to discern who that person is compared to, are they actually somebody at the helm of of a business of where I want to get to that has actually gone through this stuff, right? And so when we're doing what we're doing, sounds like, when we're doing billing, we're pulling in all this information about consumption of what products and categories of products are being consumed in what quantities, and what are they being sold with, and what are people paying for them, and what are people charging for them. That starts to tell us the dynamic of how the economics of this industry work, right? And so when somebody starts coming saying, hey, what is my stack? What should my stack be? We're not going to come out and say, oh, you should have this product from this company and this product from that. No, but we categorize everything, and we can come back and say, you need a product in password management, in documentation, an RMM, a PSA, and that's what you need to run your business on. Right? And now you need to offer an email security solution and a password, or credential management solution. And you need to offer a backup solution and all these other security monitoring tools and EDR and everything else. And we can classify those. But now we can come back as what's the very next question is, well, how do I package that? Okay, well, here's the ones that should be packaged together because that's how the world is buying them today. Well, what should I charge for that? This is what you should charge for that because that's what the market is bearing today, right? And give them all the answers to the questions that they have so that they don't have to go out and seek it and get some really bad advice that dwindles their company, or worse yet, speaks to a sales rep at a software vendor. I've run them and it's fine. They are not business experts. Right? And there was a LinkedIn post I commented on recently too, where you look at the conferences in this industry and the speakers of them, they're a channel manager or, an account executive or whatever, and they're up there giving security advice and giving business advice and guidance and stuff like that. Sure, maybe some of the people that prepared the presentations had some of that to it. Mm-hmm. They are not experts to be delivering that information. And what happens is an MSP leaves that conference thinking, I need to do X, Y, and Z. And this is all I have to do and everything else. And they bank on that. And that's their livelihood. This is their largest asset. This is their future, their retirement, right? For them and their family. And sure. So for us to be able to build something that allows an MSP to come in with any question and just be told, right? And have it based on not a guess, not from an expert that was an expert 10 years ago. I shouldn't be telling you how to run an MSP today. I ran one. Geez, I exited that in 2016. I was out of it that's 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right? It's a different world now.
Sure.
I can give you business advice all day long, but I can't tell you what the right stack is. I can't tell you what you should charge based on what we charged for managed services 10 years ago.
Sure.
Right?
So why, I'm just curious, you said 50% are losing money, 25% barely breaking even or pay the bill. Why in the hell would anybody get in this business with those kind of stats?
Exactly a problem, right? But it's because I don't want to crawl under a desk and do tech work to make somebody else rich. I don't want to be beholden to somebody else and have a boss. I don't want. The reason everybody starts a business, and a break-even business isn't a bad business necessarily, right? It's not a valuable business, but I can collect a salary. Business doesn't have to profit. I can collect a salary and I'm fine.
It can be a lifestyle.
And I've got something. Right? I've got a job. I've got things to do. I've got money coming in. I'm good. And there's nothing wrong with that. But when you go out and you meet with hundreds and thousands of MSPs over the years, they're all eager to grow. They do want more, right? And they stay in it because they see the prospect. They see the opportunity. They're sold a bill of goods that, hey, this coach can get me there. Hey, this thing can get me there. And they're paying out more money to do it. And I'm not saying it's snake oil and I'm not saying it's wrong, but there is no one size fits all growth strategy or plan for an MSP, right? They come from different countries. They come from different, regions with different economic conditions and drivers and verticals and business segments. Everything is different. Right. And so there's not a one size fits all. And I might be a company that's working over in the UK, taking advice from how something is working in California or in New York. That doesn't make any sense. I can be in the US. I should not be living in Columbus, Ohio, doing services in an MSP and trying to replicate, what somebody in California or New York is doing. That is not going to work. I have a different industry that drives the economy in that region. I can't buy a house for the same amount of money in Ohio that I can in California. That is not a thing. Right. So why would I be expected to run the exact same type of business in the exact same way, at the exact same pricing, with the exact same services? It doesn't match up that way. It's not paired in same for same. And so that's where we need to solve things for MSPs so that they understand what I can charge for certain services and what needs to be included in that and what the market will bear where I am. Mm-hmm. Right? It needs to understand how my business is compared to even other businesses in my area, right? I shouldn't take a recommendation for a company that would work for $4 million in revenue if I'm at 1.5. That doesn't make sense, right? I can't go and take on all these new services if I only have this many clients. I don't get the same quantity of scale on volume and everything else. It's probably a better, different solution, new service for me to bring on in a different category to go with, right? Should I be selling a ton of cyber insurance right now? Or should I be selling security awareness training right now, right? Like what makes the most sense for the business with where they're at? So that's what it is for us. And my belief is that if we focus on that, we will help these companies become more profitable or become profitable and build a sustainable, strong business that has a value beyond just paying a bill for them.
Hi, I'm Mark Thomas, founder and CEO of Current Tech Solutions and Cyber Guardians. We know business owners like you want to focus on growing your company, not worrying about IT problems or security threats. That's where we come in. Our team uses AI to protect your business from cyber risks and keep everything running smoothly. If you're ready for peace of mind and a stronger future, reach out to us today. Let's secure and elevate your business together.